Hey guys, welcome back to the Way of Truth Tarot. My name is Mandy. For those of you who are just joining, and for those of you who are returning, I'm so happy that you're back with another reading. For another reading. Uh, yes. So today's reading is going to be on the Sarah Ebersole disappearance. This was in March of 2023. And a subscriber has requested this. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's check it out. I watched a very short kind of recap of the case just to get a rough idea about the circumstances, but I haven't dived into this case at all other than that. So, Sarah was a young mother that was partying with a few people. She had been taking pictures of her night and posting them on Facebook, so they knew who she was with and where she was up until a certain point. And then it said that there was another person that came to this house who was friends and in contact with one of the members of the party. And he came over to the house and left with Sarah. There was evidence at her house that she had been there. Her cigarettes were outside. Um, oh, I'm blanking on. Her cigarettes were outside, but I'm blanking on it. Hang on one. Okay. So I just refreshed my memory. Yes, her cigarettes were found outside on her porch. The shoes that she was wearing at the party that night, they were um inside. And what was not missing was she had like $1,000 cash. That wasn't missing. But what was missing was a keepsake from her daughter's birth, which was a teddy bear. That's gone. So, very strange. She did have a very toxic relationship with her ex. Um, from what I gathered, this guy is absolutely capable of doing something to Sarah, especially if he saw Facebook photos of her at the party that night, right? Anyway, I'm gonna stop speculating and get to the reading. So thank you to my lovely subscriber, you know who you are, who forwarded this case to me. Alrighty. What event, mystery, or crime is at the center of the investigation? What event, mystery, or crime is at the center of the investigation? Jack of Spades. The renegade informant. Clever, resourceful, but always on the edge of the law. What passage applies? Everything said in this reading is alleged, in my opinion, based on the energy and the card meanings, not facts. 2. The rebel without a cause. Acts out of a sense of duty or vengeance rather than for personal glory. Okay. What is the event, mystery, or crime at the center of the investigation? What is the event, mystery, or crime at the center of the investigation? Fear of failure, egoism, lack of confidence. So, a very insecure energy. Then we have manipulation and deception, being out of touch with reality, mixed with this first card. And then the Nine of Cups in reverse. This is greed, um, negative indulgences. These three cards together are painting the picture of somebody that is extremely unstable, is encompassed within low vibrational frequencies, fear, jealousy, greed, um, and on top of that, being deluded. Okay. What more can you tell us about the events? Star? Nine of Wands. So the star is about hope. They're clinging on to some sort of hope. The last stand. The Nine of Wands is like taking the last stand. The Page of Cups in reverse is about ignoring your intuition, ignoring your gut feeling, ignoring that little voice that's telling you, don't do this, it's not going to work. You're not going to get what you want out of this, but you do it anyway. Very insecure person and emotionally immature. This person truly believes that acting this way is going to fix the situation. Completely out of touch with reality. Anything more you want to say about this event or mystery? Carelessness, being unprepared, a bit naive. So let's get one more card for this row. Oh, we got two. Two cards coming out together for me has always been two cards that create one thought. So, okay, this bottom row is shedding some light on the delusion, okay? So this person feels like, well, really, they're naive to the situation because they're in a delusion, right? They're completely naive that to think that what they feel is right is going to give them the results that they're looking for. So that's what the fool in reverse is representing. They're naive and they're unprepared for the reality of the situation that is going to come about. They feel they see themselves as an emotionally mature person. They see themselves as a natural born leader that needs to take control of this situation. Um, because they're feeling stuck. And the reason they're feeling stuck is because they don't put anything, there's no initiative. They don't put any positive things into the things they feel they deserve to have. Very confused person. Somebody that is, like I said, extremely out of touch with reality. And the energy I'm feeling with this person is like at any point, if somebody even looks at them the wrong way, it ain't gonna go it's not gonna go well. They're gonna overreact. They're gonna, like, I'm even getting the vibe that if the person is like agitated enough and you kind of look at them a second too long, they're gonna freak out at you thinking that you're spying on them. That type of level of agitation and paranoia, very not very not healthy. Like, okay. What key clue, starting point, or direction should be pursued first? What key clue, starting point, or direction should be pursued first? Okay. Hands tied, revenge, devil, corrupted media source in reverse, and alive. Hmm. Well, her ex. person who would want to exact revenge on her. Somebody who is her version of a devil in her life, right? Kidnap and Hands Tied is referencing the things in her life that controlled her. So if it was like a relationship, could also be something to do with her job, like a financial requirement that controlled her. Something like that. It's not, and it's kind of like a double meaning because it's also implying that whoever took her is probably has something to do with one of those areas in her life that prevented her from having some freedom. So what this is saying is look at those aspects because you might find the person who actually tied her up. So corrupted media source in reverse is making me feel like information from people that could be viewed as gossip. You know what I mean? But like give it a chance and it's you might find out. You might be pleasantly surprised that it's actually true kind of vibe. So to me this is saying don't disregard something that somebody says even though they may have had a bad track record of not being honest in the past. Not to necessarily disregard that. Because the worst case that can happen is that it turns out not to provide any leads. You know, you're no far further ahead than when you started, but if you were to ignore that and it happens to be a lead, then you're really going to regret it. So, alive. Be a token for alive. 128. Pisces. Okay, 100. There's a magnifying glass. Investigate. There's more to the story. Take a closer look. And then 110, which is a check mark. Meeting the criteria, getting things done and verified. So, so on the other side of the Pisces is 130 and it's like a heart with an arrow. Love at first sight, love hurts. Yeah. Um there's more to the story. If whoever she was, yeah, I would look at the baby daddy Absolutely. There's more to what he's saying. There's more to the story. I don't know what he said. Like I said, I haven't really deep dived on this case. I just watched a very short video that gave the gist of it. So if anybody who is really familiar with this case and this makes sense to you, put in the comments because um I'm feeling like a lot of importance with this part. So there's more to the story. Something about verifying those aspects of the story, and love hurts. So it has something to do with somebody she was emotionally involved with in the past or at the time. Okay. What past events, hidden influences, or unseen forces have shaped the situation? A conflict, disagreements. So we got double conflict. We got the Five of Wands and we got the Five of Swords. So bullying, intimidation for the Five of Swords. And for the Five of Wands is competition and rivalry, clash of egos. Then at the end, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is a material offer. I'm wondering if it's disagreements over her job, disagreements over how she chose to support herself and her family. To an insecure partner, her job, she was an exotic dancer. So I could definitely see that being a bone of contention with a partner that is very insecure. What more can you tell us about this? Wow, okay. So these cards came out together. So it's two cards creating one thought. Disharmony. This is office politics, actually. Oh my gosh. With the Three of Pentacles coming in, this is now changed to conflict at the workplace, competition, like maybe wanting the attention of a specific client that has a lot of money privately or something like that. Then we have the moon, and this is representing the unseen. the hidden aspects of the case, stuff that I don't think people have considered yet. And this person, so the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords came out right underneath that financial offer, the Ace of Pentacles. And if you're new here, the way it usually always naturally happens is that the underlying card will be a direct correlation with the above card. So what I'm seeing here is whoever supposedly Sarah was having a workplace conflict with, a competition, they were rivaling about something that had to do with a job, money, a chance to make money. And this resulted in financial loss to somebody, which is the Five of Pentacles. And what the card that came out with the Five of Pentacles, literally, they were stuck together, is the Ten of Swords, which is physical, painful endings and a betrayal. And in my opinion, what we got at the beginning that was looking like maybe it was the baby daddy, because he would be the perfect fit. Uh, Maybe taking that bear was part of the strategy. Hmm. Yeah, there's something that had to do with her work. Absolutely, I'm feeling that very clearly. Something had to do with her job that um like the Three of Pentacles card is workplace conflict. That card is indicating that it wasn't just like her baby daddy having an issue with her job. That is pointing to somebody who she works with is involved very clearly. The suspect, who or what is involved in concealing the truth, misleading the case, or playing a pivotal role? Okay, we've got the Three of Cups. Somebody who she called a friend, somebody who she considered a support. Um, this is also reflecting the Three of Pentacles vibe. Somebody she worked with. I'm definitely feeling female energy. Absolutely. I did when the Three of Pentacles in reverse came up, but now um the Empress is confirming that. Yeah. The Fool in reverse. This is in regards to Sarah being very unprepared for this. Didn't see it coming at all. Somebody who she calls a friend. Anything more you want to say about this person? So, this started because she was hurt. She felt a lot of emotional pain. Choices clouded judgment. Opportunity. She had an opportunity that she felt was taken away from her. So she chose, yeah. So she chose to stay in a bad energy. She chose to do something negative in order to get, and that's how she chose to deal with her grief or her loss or her disappointment to missing out on an opportunity she felt that she deserved or wanted. And I don't think that it made her feel the way she wanted her to feel. All right, let's get some whispers about this. Who or what is involved in concealing the truth and playing a pivotal role? Abuse and neglect, secret trip in reverse, and change of plans in reverse. So there's a female on the card with a man's hand over her mouth. And we got the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. So it's implying that there's two other people involved, possibly three other people. I'm counting it as Sarah and two other people against her. But I could be wrong and it could be three people involved. But definitely a female. I really feel like that is I really feel that it was her that started it, that put the idea forth. Secret trip, I believe, is referring to the job that one of them perhaps had access to and didn't and had that opportunity missed, right? And the change of plans is referring to um just the plans of like disrupting Sarah's plans in life. Digital. Digital evidence. I don't think this person was as careful as she perhaps thought. And that also um, makes sense to her not being prepared fully for what she was embarking on. Okay. Okay. The breakthrough. The breakthrough. What crucial revelation, missing evidence, or unexpected discovery could shift the case? Queen of Diamonds, the keeper of secrets. Master of disguise with a web of truths carefully guarded. What passage applies to this person? 8. Has faced personal or public controversies emerging stronger. Fortune's whispers to those who dare to listen, but at a cost. What other passage applies? 3. The master of manipulation expertly controls narratives to maintain an upper hand. Give me a few tarot that can help uncover who this person is. Getting caught out. Give me another card that can represent who this person is. Court card would be nice. Tower in reverse, fear of change. They don't want anything to change in their life. Yeah. They suffer from feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem. The choices this person makes is extremely clouded. Give me a court card, please. Loneliness. Three of Swords. Is person male or female? There's a female on the card. 10 of Wands. Heavy burdens. Yeah, I believe it's that same person I've been talking about this whole time who set this whole thing in motion. Don't believe they physically did anything to her. However, they absolutely played a vital role and in my opinion are just as culpable as the person who physically did the thing they can never take back. So, okay. Give these a shuffle. This will be the last question of the spread. The resolution. What final action, truth, or decision will bring the case to a close? What final action, truth, or decision will bring the case to a close? There's that Three of Pentacles again. Okay. Two of Wands is plans falling apart. This is all of the silence that they vowed they would keep falling apart because somebody um the Four of Pentacles in reverse is like coming from a state of, it's really interesting because the card can either mean generosity or it can mean greed. So, in my opinion, what this is saying is somebody is offered a deal. Somebody is offered a deal, so then they're very generous with their information. That scenario. Three of Pentacles is again confirming that work element, but at the same time, it's also representing the collaboration between the authorities and this person who is finally going to speak. And then the High Priestess is representing the higher power and sacred knowledge that is going to be coming to light if this person is offered the right deal, essentially, which is really awful to think about, but it is the reality of the situation. That that would be a scenario on how to get the truth. Allegedly, my opinion. I wish it was under something more noble, but I get what I get. All right, guys, that's it for this reading. If you want to see part two, let me know in the comments. If you are enjoying my content and you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Just so you don't miss any any of my lives. I do weekly lives where I do um personal readings, free personal readings. Um and if you're subscribed, you get the notifications so you don't miss those, as well as the notifications for all the other stuff that I upload. Um, I bid you good day, and I will definitely see you next time. Bye.